Based on all the leaks we have and everything that's been going on around online, there is only 2 heroes that seems to be confirmed for Season 10. Gorr and the Nightcrawler. In this video, I'm going to answer your questions. Who they are, what's their ability Marvel Rivals based on the leaks and facts. So let's get started. The same people who previously predict that Gambit and Rogue for Season 5 and the Hood and Jubilee for Season 9 are now saying that Season 10 is going to bring us Gorr, the God Butcher, and Nightcrawler. And honestly, if you think about it, it's actually make a lot of sense. Because if you look at a lot of seasons, we usually have 2 heroes who are completely opposite our rivals. Take Angela and Daredevil, for example. They are actually completely opposite for each other. One is an angel who protects heaven, while the other is literally a devil. And it looks like they might be doing same thing for the Season 10. Because if you look deeper into those 2 characters, Gorr is someone who completely lost faith in gods. After everything that happens to him, he decides that the gods were the problem and start hunting them one by one. And then you have Nightcrawler, who is basically the complete opposite. He's deeply religious and has extremely strong faith. He does everything he can to avoid hurting people and even tries to bring bad people back into the right path. So yeah, you kind of see the pattern here. It's actually make a lot of sense why those 2 would show up together in Season 10. But before we get into their abilities and what class they might be, we first need to know a little bit about those characters. Otherwise, some of those ability predictions won't really make much sense. So let's start with the bad guy, the God Butcher. This dude live on the poor barren planet and actually believe in gods, but his family start dying one by one from hunger, disease, and horrible condition they were living in. And the crazy part is, Gorr keep praying for the gods to help them, but nothing happened. Eventually, even his last child died, and that's when Gorr starts thinking, if those gods actually exist, then why are they letting innocent people suffer like this? He eventually comes to a conclusion that the gods simply weren't worth worshipping. People shouldn't sit around waiting for the gods to save them. They need to stand on their own. And that's basically where the Gorr's whole hatred of the gods come from. Now, let's talk about where his power actually come from. After losing his family, Gorr came across 2 gods who were fighting each other. One of them was badly injured and was actually asking for Gorr help, but Gorr refused to help him. And after that god died, Gorr ended up getting his hand on Necrosword. Yes, here's the cool part. Necrosword basically turned Gorr into a powerful creature. It gave him insane power. He turned to an immortal. He get the ability to fly, the most important ability to kill gods. And that's when Gorr became the God Butcher and started hunting the gods down. Alright, now that we know what Gorr is all about, let's talk about his ability could look like in Season 10. Personally, I think Gorr is going to be on Vanguard. I really hope so, because honestly, I don't really think any other class fitting this guy. And if I'm wrong, please don't come at me and say, oh, you were wrong, he's a duelist, blah blah. I don't know, man. I just don't think duelists fit this guy that well. Especially because unlike the movie version, comic Gorr is huge and ridiculously strong. This guy can literally fight Thor head on. So to me, that's already a pretty good sign that he's going to be a Vanguard. Unless, of course, the developer has something completely different planned for him. Now let's talk. What could his ability actually be? Well, most Gorr's power come from Necrosword, which originates from Null. And what's really interesting about this sword is that it actually can change its form. So I think the Necrosword is obviously going to be the Gorr main weapon. He will probably just use it to beat the hell out of everyone. But I could also see some of his ability being based around the changing the sword into different forms. Maybe he can turn it into a tentacles, huge blades, or something completely different from the certain attack. Imagine you're fighting with a normal sword and then you activate your ability. Suddenly the sword transforms into a massive blade or even an axe, and you hit the enemy with much heavier attack. Something like Angela's ability. When Angela comes out of flying state, she switched from her spears and put 2 axes instead. So I could definitely see the Gorr doing the same similar thing with the Necrosword. Now we know Gorr can fly, but there is no way Marvel Rivals is giving this guy permanent flight. At least I don't think so. It's much more likely that he gets some kind of temporary flight, similar to Hood or Doctor Strange, and that could end up being his main mobility. But here's something really interesting that I barely see anyone talk about. The Necrosword is actually a symbiote. It's not just some random magic sword. It is a living creature created by the Null that can take the form of a sword. That's why you can shapeshift into different things. And here's the important part. So when someone gets the Necro Sword, the symbiote become part of their bodies, giving them much more power. Basically, something similar to Venom. And the one of the biggest thing that symbiote gave the Gorr was ability to heal himself. So I could definitely see the Gorr have some kind of self-healing ability. And if they don't go with the direct healing, maybe they could do something similar to Venom, where he gets some extra heals instead. Now there is one more ability I want to talk about, and this one could be either his ultimate or just one of his normal abilities. The ability is Black Berserker. Gorr can actually carry those creatures. Now whatever Marvel was actually give him this ability or not, I have no idea. It's just possibility. I could imagine a tank that carried some creatures to fight for him. They could make his ultimate by summoning some Black Berserker. Or they could go with something like the God Bomb, which was literally designed to kill gods based on the comics. So maybe we get some huge game-changing abilities similar to Iron Man or Magneto Ultimate. Alright, I think I pretty much covered the Gorr from every angle. So let's move on Nightcrawler. Alright, so this dude was born in Germany and raised Catholic. And that's a huge part of why his faith is so strong. So once again, he's basically the complete opposite of Gorr. The Gorr doesn't believe in God, but Nightcrawler have a strong faith and believe in God. But there is something else that I need to cover for his ability. Nightcrawler was raised in circus. So yeah, this guy is insanely good acrobat. And on top of that, he learned how to use sword. So he's also a pretty good damn swordman. And then you have his mutant abilities, which are actually really interesting. I have some pretty crazy unique ideas for how they could work in Marvel Rebels. But honestly, I don't know the developer are going to be that ambitious, because some of the stuff I'm thinking about could make the Nightcrawler one of the most unique characters in the game. So according to comics, Nightcrawler can teleport. He can also walk on the walls, kinda like a Spider-Man. The teleportation is basically guaranteed in the game. The real question is how they are going to use it. And I actually have an idea that I really hope they go with. Because if they do this, Nightcrawler could have one of the most coolest mechanics in the game. Imagine that instead of just teleporting himself somewhere, he can grab another hero and teleport them somewhere else. That would be such a unique ability. And it can completely change the way you play the game. Imagine one of your tanks is about to die and you play in this character. You can grab your tank and teleport them back to a safe location and let them recover. Now they are safe, they can heal back up, and you just save them from dying. The closest thing we have to something like this is one of the Firefox ability. She can teleport to her teammates and create an area that heals and give them a shield. Now imagine the same idea, but instead of teleporting your teammate, you teleport your teammate away. That would be insanely cool. And honestly, I really hope they do something like this instead of just giving him basic teleport. Now let's talk about other abilities I could see definitely be in the game. His main weapon is probably going to be a sword. And yes, his tail is also a kind of weapon. And remember, this dude is an acrobat, so I'm expecting some crazy movement and acrobatic attacks. There's also another ability I could see being his ultimate. Imagine Nightcrawler locking into one enemies, constantly teleport around them and just constantly attack from different directions. Something kinda like Psylocke ultimate, except instead of hitting everything in front of him, Nightcrawler locking into one target and completely destroy them from every direction. Now I honestly have no idea if you are going to get a simple Nightcrawler or if the developer are actually going to go crazy with him and give us some of the stuff I just told you. And I hear a lot of possibility that Nightcrawler can be a healer, but honestly, how? I genuinely have no idea how they could make this work. What is supposed to heal from? He could make a lot of sense as an vanguard, but at the same time, I just cannot picture Nightcrawler as a support. So I'm sticking with the original prediction. I think he's going to be a duelist. A melee duelist with insanely fast mobility, teleportation, and probably the ability to walk on the walls. So yeah, those heroes are completely opposite. And it's look like they are going to Marvel Rebels for season 10. I hope my prediction end up being right. I based most of this on comics, the character lores, and the leaks that we have so far. But either way, season 10 is going to look like we are going to have so much fun. And hopefully you guys enjoy the video. If you want to see more video like this, let me know in the comments. I would love to make more of this video if you guys like it. So let me know in the comment and subscribe. Bye bye.